The text arrived while I was reviewing quarterly reports in my office, surrounded by the hum of a busy workday. "Honey," it read, "about Easter, your father, and I think we need some quiet family time this year. Just us, Emma, and her kids. You understand, don't you? You're always so busy anyway." I stared at my phone, a familiar ache settling deep in my chest, like a weight I'd carried far too long. My name is Olivia Mitchell, and at 34, I'd just been uninvited from yet another family holiday. The irony wasn't lost on me. Being the busy, successful one had somehow become a convenient excuse for my family to exclude me, as if my presence disrupted their carefully curated peace. "Perfect timing, Mom," I typed back, my fingers steady despite the hurt bubbling inside me. I was actually thinking of doing something different this year, so that works out perfectly. The response came almost instantly. "Oh, good. You're not upset, are you? We just want some peaceful bonding time with the grandkids. You know how hectic things get when everyone's around." By everyone, she meant me. Just me. Because, apparently, my sister Emma's 3 hyperactive children, all under 10, somehow qualified as peaceful, but my quiet, composed presence was deemed too disruptive. I set my phone down, the sting of exclusion settling in, and turned to my computer. I opened a saved folder labeled Someday, a digital treasure chest of dream vacation spots I'd been cataloging for years, waiting for the right moment to escape. One destination caught my eye, as it always did, a private villa in the Maldives, the kind of place that made Instagram influencers weep with envy, with its crystal-clear waters and overwater bungalows that seemed to float above the ocean. For years, I'd put off taking exotic vacations, always prioritizing family gatherings, always being the responsible one. While Emma gallivanted around with her picture-perfect family, posting idyllic holiday moments on social media, I was the one organizing events, buying thoughtful gifts, and upholding our family traditions. My phone buzzed again, pulling me from my thoughts. Another text from Mom. "Sweetie, could you still make those Easter baskets for the kids? You know how much they love your special treats." I laughed out loud, a sharp, humorless sound. Uninvited, but still expected to contribute. Classic. Instead of responding, I opened my banking app. The bonus from my last successful project sat untouched, alongside years of savings from being the workaholic my family always accused me of being. The Maldives Villa's booking page was still open in another tab, tempting me with images of turquoise waves lapping against pristine beaches and sunsets that painted the sky in hues of gold and pink. My therapist's words echoed in my mind from our session just last week. Sometimes, Olivia, the best response to being excluded is to create something extraordinary for yourself. I took a deep breath, my cursor hovering over the button. Then, with a surge of resolve, I clicked Book Now. The confirmation email arrived moments later, just as another text from my mother popped up. "Also, could you drop off the Easter ham on Saturday? You know you always get the best one from that special butcher." I sat back in my chair, a slow smile spreading across my face. For the first time in years, I felt lighter, almost giddy with anticipation. I opened my calendar and began blocking off 3 entire weeks, one before Easter, Easter week itself, and 1 week after. Then I did something I'd never done before. I set my work email to an out-of-office reply and called my assistant. "Sarah," I said, my voice steady with newfound determination, "remember that extended break we discussed? I'm taking it. All of it." "Finally," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. "Want me to book those meetings for when you return?" "Yes," I replied. "And Sarah, make sure to forward me any family emails. I have a feeling they're going to be very interesting." The next few days were a whirlwind of preparations. I bought a new wardrobe, not the practical business attire I usually wore, but flowing sundresses in vibrant tropical hues, elegant beachwear that felt like a celebration of freedom, and accessories that screamed luxury vacation. Think wide-brimmed hats and delicate gold jewelry that caught the light just right. I hired a professional photographer in the Maldives to document my stay, determined to capture every moment of this journey. If my family wanted peace and quiet, I'd give them something to be quiet about. A week before Easter, another text arrived, this time from Emma. "Mom said you're not coming to Easter." Don't be difficult, live. You know how much the kids want to see their favorite aunt. I sent back a simple response, calm but pointed. Don't worry, I won't be difficult. I'll be unavailable. Have a peaceful Easter. I added a winking emoji, just enough to make Emma pause. Her reply was immediate. What does that mean? Where are you going? I smiled, typing back, you'll see. Then I silenced my phone. The morning of my departure, I posted a single photo on Instagram, my first personal post in months, breaking my usual pattern of sharing only work achievements or family event photos. It was simple but striking, my passport resting next to a first-class ticket with the caption, "Time for some peace and quiet of my own." Within hours, my phone was flooded with messages. Mom, Dad, Emma, even my Aunt Susan, all desperate to know where I was headed. But for once, I wasn't available to answer their questions. I was too busy boarding a plane, a glass of champagne in hand, ready to start my own peaceful Easter tradition. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of their peaceful Easter turning into 3 weeks of regret. The Maldives were more breathtaking than any photo could capture. As I stepped onto the private deck of my water villa, the turquoise ocean stretched endlessly before me, shimmering under the tropical sun. A surge of joy washed over me, pure and unfiltered. This was what peace looked like, not being excluded from family gatherings, but choosing your own paradise, one where you defined your own happiness. My villa was a masterpiece of luxury, floor-to-ceiling windows that framed the ocean like a living painting, a private infinity pool that seemed to merge with the horizon, and a personal butler named Kai, who anticipated my every need with a warm smile. "Miss Mitchell," Kai said, arranging a welcome fruit platter with exotic mangoes and passion fruit. "The photographer you hired will be available tomorrow at sunrise. The lighting then is absolutely magical." I smiled, already imagining the photos, not the forced family portraits my mother insisted on every Easter, but professional shots of me living my best life, radiant and free. "Perfect," I said. "And the other arrangements?" "All set," Kai replied. "The private yacht tour, sunset dinner on the beach, and spa treatments are scheduled as requested. Also, the chef would love to know if you'd like to join the private cooking class. They're preparing traditional Maldivian dishes." Back home, I'd be stressing over Easter baskets and hunting for the perfect ham. Instead, I was learning to make exotic dishes, planning adventures, and embracing a life I'd only dreamed of. The contrast wasn't lost on me. My phone, which I'd kept on airplane mode since landing, buzzed with accumulated messages when I briefly checked it. "Mom, honey, where are you? The kids are asking about their Easter baskets. Emma, OMG, did you seriously leave the country? Mom's freaking out. Dad, princess, this isn't like you. Call us." I responded with a single photo, me in a designer sundress, holding a coconut drink on my private deck, the infinite ocean sparkling behind me. No caption needed. The response was immediate. Emma called 3 times in succession. I declined each call with a serene smile, then sent her a video of a pod of dolphins playing near my villa, their graceful leaps caught in the golden sunlight. "Is that where you are?" she texted back. "That looks like one of those super luxury resorts. How can you afford that?" I could almost hear the jealousy in her words. Emma had always assumed that because I was single and focused on my career, I was somehow missing out on life. She never considered that not having 3 kids and a spend-happy husband meant I had resources to spare, resources I'd been saving for a moment exactly like this. The next morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, the photographer captured shots that would make any travel magazine envious. Me doing yoga on the deck, my silhouette framed against the sunrise. Me enjoying a floating breakfast in my private pool, tropical flowers floating alongside fresh croissants. Me snorkeling with sea turtles, their gentle movements a reminder of the world's quiet wonders. Each photo was carefully curated and posted throughout the day. My usually quiet social media exploded with activity. Friends, colleagues, and family members couldn't stop commenting. "Living your best life. This is what peace looks like. Where's my invitation?" But it was my mother's comments that truly showed the impact. "Olivia, please call us. Easter dinner won't be the same without you. Sweetheart, we didn't mean to upset you. Those Easter baskets you make, the children are so disappointed. I posted another photo in response, me taking a cooking class, learning to make exotic desserts with a Maldivian chef, my hands dusted with coconut flour. Caption: creating new traditions, one recipe at a time. Emma's response was particularly satisfying. Must be nice to be so selfish and only think about yourself, she wrote. I replied with a video of me releasing baby sea turtles into the ocean as part of the resort's conservation program, their tiny flippers paddling toward freedom. Caption: finding peace and giving back. By Easter morning, while my family was probably gathering for their so-called peaceful celebration, I was having breakfast on a private sandbank, surrounded by nothing but crystal-clear waters and serenity. The chef had prepared a feast that made traditional Easter dinner look bland: fresh tropical fruits, local delicacies like tuna curry, and pastries so beautiful they belonged in an art gallery. I posted a photo of my Easter dinner, a private beachside barbecue with fresh-caught lobster and chilled champagne, the table adorned with orchids under a canopy of stars. The caption read, "Sometimes peace finds you in unexpected places. Happy Easter." My phone nearly exploded with notifications. Friends asked for resort details, colleagues praised my well-deserved break, and family members who hadn't spoken to me in years suddenly wanted to reconnect. But the most telling response came from my mother. "We made a mistake. Please come home soon. We miss you." I took a sip of champagne and watched the sunset over the ocean, its golden rays dancing on the waves. Going home soon? I was just getting started. This wasn't just a vacation, it was a declaration of independence, a bold statement that I was more than the reliable daughter who made Easter baskets and picked up hams. The final 2 weeks of my Maldives getaway became a masterclass in living well, a deliberate act of reclaiming my own narrative. Each day, I shared carefully curated glimpses of paradise that made my family's peaceful Easter look increasingly lackluster in comparison. Emma's passive-aggressive comment about selfishness particularly inspired me. I arranged to spend a day at the resort's Marine Conservation Center, helping with coral restoration and sea turtle rehabilitation. The photos of me in diving gear, working alongside marine biologists to plant coral fragments, sparked a new wave of admiration from my social network. "Never knew you were so passionate about marine life," commented my cousin Kate, who'd sided with my parents about the Easter exclusion. I responded with a video of me naming each sea turtle I'd helped, explaining their unique stories and rehabilitation journeys with a warmth that came from genuine connection. The resort's photographer captured it all, not just the glamorous moments, but the meaningful ones too. Me teaching local children English during a community outreach program, my laughter mingling with theirs as we practiced new words. Me participating in beach cleanups, collecting plastic to protect the pristine shores. Me learning about sustainable tourism from the resort's staff, who shared stories of their efforts to preserve this paradise. Each post was a subtle reminder that being busy and successful didn't make me the family disruption they'd painted me to be. It made me someone capable of creating beauty, purpose, and joy. Mom's texts grew increasingly desperate. The kids barely touched their Easter baskets. They said they weren't the same without your special touch. Your father's ham was overcooked. He never gets it right without your help. Emma's youngest had a meltdown during the Easter egg hunt. You always knew how to calm her down. I responded to each with photos of my continuing adventure, swimming with manta rays, their graceful wings gliding through the water, taking a sunset cruise on a luxury yacht, the wind in my hair, enjoying private beachside spa treatments, my skin glowing under the tropical sun. I was living my best life while they dealt with the chaos they'd chosen over me. Then came the turning point. Emma posted a family photo from Easter dinner, everyone trying to smile but looking strained, their eyes betraying the tension. Her caption read, "Family, peace, and quiet." Missing some noise, though. I waited until evening in the Maldives, when I knew they'd all be awake back home, to respond. I posted a video montage of my entire trip, the villa's infinity pool, the conservation work, the luxury experiences, all set to the soothing sound of ocean waves. The caption read, "Found my peace in paradise." Sometimes exclusion is the greatest gift you can give someone. The response was nuclear. My phone exploded with family messages. Dad, Princess, we made a terrible mistake. That place looks incredible. Emma, I can't believe you did all this while we were stuck dealing with sugar-rushed kids and Mom's drama. Mom, why didn't you tell us you could afford such luxury? We thought you were just working all the time. The family group chat, which had been notably quiet during Easter, suddenly sparked to life. Relatives I hadn't heard from in months were tagging me, asking about the resort, wondering if I could help plan their vacations. On my last evening in paradise, I hosted a private dinner on the beach, the chef preparing a fusion of Maldivian and international cuisine, grilled lobster, coconut-infused curries, and tropical desserts that melted on the tongue. Fire dancers performed on the shore, their flames casting a warm glow against the night sky. The photos were spectacular, me in a flowing white dress, dining under a canopy of stars, looking completely at peace. I captioned it, "Thank you for the space to create my own traditions. Best Easter gift ever." My mother called immediately. This time I answered. "Olivia," she began, her voice thick with emotion, "we were wrong. So wrong. We thought you were too busy for family time, too focused on work to enjoy holidays. But look at what you've created for yourself. It's beautiful." "Yes, Mom," I replied calmly, watching the stars reflect on the ocean's surface. "It is beautiful, and all it took was being excluded for me to finally take this time for myself." The silence on her end was heavy with understanding. "Next Easter," she said finally, "would you consider helping us plan something like this as a family?" I smiled, thinking of the photos from their peaceful Easter gathering, the chaos, the stress, the forced smiles. "Maybe," I replied. "But first, you all need to understand something. I'm not just the reliable daughter who makes Easter baskets and picks up hams. I'm someone who can create magic of her own." "We see that now," she whispered. "We really do." As I packed to leave paradise, I received one final message from Emma. "I get it now, sis. Sometimes the noise we need isn't from kids or chaos. It's from someone who brings their own kind of peace. Next holiday is yours to plan. Show us your version of family time." I looked around my villa one last time, at the paradise I'd claimed for myself when they tried to exclude me. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about rising above, finding your own peace, and letting others realize what they missed. My last post from the Maldives was simple, a sunrise photo, the sky ablaze with color, captioned, "Thanks for the space to grow." Next family gathering will be on my terms. Paradise has room for everyone if they're ready to appreciate it. The likes and comments poured in, but I didn't check them. I was too busy planning next Easter's family gathering this time, on my terms, in my paradise. Sometimes the best response to exclusion is to create something so magnificent that inclusion becomes a privilege, not a right. Please feel free to comment below if you liked this. Remember to like and subscribers for more.